Thank you for joining us this evening. We're just going to start off with one or two chants to get us started. So it would be great if you could reply after me, all right? So I'm going to say the chant once all the way through, and then you're going to follow me. We the people are making the call, far away in Essex for Delrawn Small. We the people are making the call, far away in Essex for Delrawn Small. We the people are making the call, far away in Essex for Delrawn Small. We the people are making the call, far away in Essex for Delrawn Small. When Black life is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up. Stand up.
Fight back.
Stand up.
Fight back.
Stand up.
Fight back.
All right. Thank y'all for all coming out tonight. I'm about to lead a chant right now because I feel like there's a lot of hopelessness happening, right? And we don't many times feel like we are winning when we think about battling this criminal justice system. But I still believe, and we're all here today in proof, right, that one day we will win, right? That the power of the people, us coming out and talking about we are not standing for this injustice, that one day we will win. All right, thank you. As Jules said, sometimes we have moments of hopelessness, but we are a resilient people, and we are still here today, so there has to be a way that we will win. My name is Carmen. I'm an organizer representing the Legal Defense Fund. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight on this, I don't know. I don't have words for the occasion on which we're gathered. Other than to say that what Wayne Isaacs did on July 4th, 2016, shooting and killing Delrawn Small and leaving him to die was murder. And what the jury did on Monday was actually commit another injustice, demonstrating that the system is not interested in justice at all for Black lives. It is dangerous that once again, a police officer is being treated as if they are above the law. If it was any one of us standing out here today, maybe minus the undercover cops that are out here today, if it was any one of us that had taken the life of another citizen or another police officer, then we would actually be held accountable to the law. There would have been a guilty verdict. Don't get it twisted. There would have been a guilty verdict. We would have been arrested on the scene, charged and convicted, but simply because Wayne Isaacs is a police officer, he was given preferential treatment every step of the way, literally every step of the way. From the time that the other officers, the responding officers, responded on the scene, up until he was acquitted for the crime that he committed on Monday. And the message that this verdict sends is frightening. There were folks who were present, family members and friends, after the verdict was revealed. And I heard them saying, this means that they can just kill us. They can kill us without any repercussions, with impunity. What do I tell my children? What do I tell my son? How do we continue on? If an officer can lie, there's video evidence of an officer murdering an unarmed person. We now know that an officer will be protected from any legal consequence just by claiming he or she was afraid and his defense team playing into a racialized fear of Blackness. So let's be clear. All an officer has to do is say, I feared for my life. That's all they have to do to be justified in killing us, whether that is true or not. And most times what we've seen is that it's not true, if not all times in the past few years. So at this time, I'm going to bring up Miss Gwen Carr, who is actually the mother of Eric Garner, who was killed in 2014.
everyone.
Good evening.
Blessings. Here we stand again. Another one of our black and brown brothers are murdered, and there's no justice, no peace. This has to stop. How could they keep getting away with murder? Literally getting away with murder. And only when they kill us. If we kill them, then it's such a big, big thing. But now we stand here in mourning for Delrawn Small. In 2014, we mourned my son, Eric Gardner. He was caught on video, and we seen that he did no wrong and the police murdered him. Now we see the video of Delrawn Small. He was unarmed and he was still killed. But the officer was still exonerated. How could this keep happening? We have to step up. We have to do something about this. Laws have to change. They shouldn't be above the law. They should abide by the same laws that we have to abide by. Because every time one of us is killed, it's killing a part of our generation. Our children are just dying by the hands of police every day, all day long. A lot of it we don't even hear about. And the ones that we do hear about, there's nothing done about it. So we have to, that's why we're here today. But today we're here for awareness. Just being here is not going to solve the problem. We have to do something about it. We have to band together and do something about this situation, because it just cannot keep on happening. Because every day there's another mother, another brother, sister mourning for the loss of an unarmed child. So it's not about color, it's not about race, it's about right and wrong. So I say to you today who came, and we are so pleased that you came out, because you could have been doing anything else, but we are so proud that you came to stand with the family. And we want to band together, and we have to make a strategy of what we have to do about these unarmed killings. I thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Ms. Carr. Much appreciated. So our next speaker is going to be Yosan Lim from the Justice Committee, an organization that supports family members who've been deeply impacted by police violence.
I would say good night, but this is not a good night. I will say thank you for coming out to stand with the family of Delrawn Small and to stand against this outrageous and unjust verdict that we heard, and we could almost not believe our ears on Monday. That Wayne Isaacs, NYPD officer Wayne Isaacs, was found not guilty for murdering Delrawn Small, when in fact, make no mistake, this was murder as clear as murder can be. Wayne Isaacs admitted on the stand he saw a man walking towards him, and he unharnessed his gun and he got ready to shoot. Wayne Isaacs admitted on the stand that he intended to kill Delrawn Small. He took the time to roll down his window and fire 3 bullets through his window. There is video evidence that shows that Isaacs fired as soon as Delrawn approached the car. So why do we hear not guilty on Monday? The reason is that we are living in a society that is grotesquely sick. That we live in a society in which at every single level, on the one hand, black folks and people of color are criminalized, and on the other, blue people, officers, are held above the law. This is not okay. It should make us all outraged, and it should make us all terrified, because NYPD officer Wayne Isaacs is still a police officer. So we are here today to say this is not over, and it stops today. here to say to the commissioner, the NYPD Commissioner O'Neill, and our newly elected mayor, re-elected mayor de Blasio, we don't want to hear you talk about neighborhood policing. We don't want to hear you talk about how great your officers are doing. We don't want to hear you even talk about crime stats coming down when there are NYPD officers committing crimes every single day. Do not talk to us about this until you take Wayne Isaacs off this force. He should be fired immediately, and we are not going to rest until he is off the force, no pension, no gun in his hand, because he is a menace to society. Thank you all for coming out, and especially thank you to the family of Delrawn Small, who have been at the front of this movement every step of the way, in spite of the fact that the system has let them down.
I don't want you to keep creeping this way. Okay.
All right, so
I'm not your sweetheart, and
Okay,
I'm helping
right.
coordinate
I'm sorry.
this.
You're right.
So speaking
I
of
apologize.
the families, we have Victoria Davis, who is the sister of Delrawn Small. We also have Victor Dempsey, who is the brother of Delrawn Small. And you'll see on his right, they have been at the forefront of this fight for their brother in a very unique way. In a very involved way, different than what I may have seen before, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that this case had the Attorney General's office acting as a special prosecutor. So at this time, I'm going to pass over the mic to Victor and Victoria.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you for coming out. I really appreciate it. Today, we're gathering because we're calling for Mayor Bill de Blasio and NYPD Commissioner O'Neill to immediately fire Officer Wayne Isaacs from the police department. Officer Wayne Isaacs is a threat to our society. He's an officer that walks around, drives around, and willingly ready and able to shoot someone and harm them and take their life unjustly. Me and my family sat through this trial every day. We sat through pre-trials every day. We sat through grand jury every day. Every step that we took led up to the evidence being laid out, led up to what we thought should have been a conviction, but that didn't happen. Wayne Isaacs was protected by the NYPD department. They chose not to stand down and let him pay for what he did. He should be in jail right now, but he's home with his family, and we're out here in the cold.
That ain't right.
Right, bro. Me and my sister have not slept. My family has not slept since Monday. I say it's hard, but there's something that my brother, and I told my sister this the other day on the phone, he's not letting me sleep. It's not because I'm crazy or anything like that. He won't let me sleep. And I'll share this with you because this is how serious this is. I say he won't let me sleep because I called my sister and I called Charles Barron, Assemblyman Charles Barron. And I had to disclose to them that I had 2 nightmares since the verdict. One of those nightmares, me and my brother was running side by side. Just felt like brotherly love, racing or whatever it was in a damn dream. I tripped, he stopped, he picked me up. We continued to run again. As we're running, we're on a rooftop or something like that, and we went to go jump. I jumped, made it to the next rooftop. As I turned around, I see my brother started falling. I reached out, grabbed his hand, and I'm holding him, looking at him right in his eyes. And I woke up because I couldn't let him go. That's what I was doing now. That's what my family's continue to do now. We'll continue to fight because we're not letting this go at all.
That's right. We got you.
There's gonna be steps that we have to take, but I call on everybody, everyone. We have to do this together. We have to do this unified. We have to say we're tired of people taking our loved ones' lives. We're tired of them taking our lives. If we don't stand up now, it's going to continue to happen. We have generations to protect. We have generations to protect. They're going to keep doing it until they understand they can't do it no more. At a point on Monday, I didn't know what I was going to do. I sat in that courtroom just overwhelmed. And I was overwhelmed because I realized my brother got killed twice. What I mean by that is he got killed twice was not getting justice, not getting a guilty verdict that day, just told me that not only killing him wasn't enough, to emphasize the fact that his life didn't matter. Right. That's not something I can live with. Because my brother was a real man. My brother was a man that raised the man that you see speaking to you today. Raised the women that's standing here today. Raising another young man. How do I raise black young men, my nephew, my son, my second nephew, and tell them that your life doesn't matter? That's unacceptable to me. That's unacceptable. What we need to understand is strength in numbers means everything. The same way they asked us to come out and vote for them on Tuesday, I'm asking y'all to come out and stand together and make a damn change. I'm gonna pass the microphone to my sister.
I'm good. Thank you.
Let her speak some words. And trust me, we got a lot to say. A lot to say. But I'm gonna let my sister say her piece.
I have a lot to say. Hopefully it comes out. So my name is Victoria Davis. I'm Delrawn's small sister.
Great.
This week people have asked me. This week people have asked me, how did this happen? It shouldn't have happened. Why did it happen? I really stopped taking phone calls and messages because I don't know how this happened. Even listening to the officers' testimony, we all know that he should have been convicted and in jail. If any one of us took someone's life callously and left them to bleed to death on the ground the way that he did, we would be in jail. We would not be on New York City, New York State taxpayers' payroll. We would be in jail. We would be doing 25 years to life or better. I'm not really sure how I feel about this. I think that I'm still shocked. I can't believe that not guilty verdict was given. Because there's no way, and I can't accept it. I can't accept it, and I don't think any of you should accept it either. There's no way that these not guilty verdicts are continuously given and accepted. I was asked if race mattered, and my answer to that is always this. I've heard people say things before, like, "Oh, he's gonna be held accountable because he's gonna be held accountable because he's black." The only race that mattered in that moment was Delrawn's race, because as we see in this country, in America, with 3 Ks, that black men don't matter, and it's not just men. The women aren't exempt either. So I ask you guys to just continue to support in any sort of way, any family, not just our family, because this is tough, this is hard. I don't know how to get through this, and we're trying to figure it out. So thank you.
Just to add on, I want to lay out some facts real quick. I know when these cases arise, police brutality cases specifically, we get a lot of departmental stuff. They try to hide the evidence, or they try to hold it back, or the courtrooms are closed, or you're not able to hear what's really going on. Let me tell you that Wayne Isaac sat on that stand Wayne Isaacs openly admitted to seeing my brother cross the street, which he said that he thought he was just a man crossing the street. He said when he got to the middle car, he noticed my brother look at him with a laser stare. At that moment was when Isaacs confessed to saying he unholstered his weapon and put it on his lap. You're telling us that from a man staring at you, you decide to unholster your weapon, ready to shoot, and then say, blame it on his police training, that is always, his weapon is always ready to go, meaning one is in the chamber. He said as he watched my brother start approaching the car, he just looked at him and you can tell something was wrong. You can tell he was mad about something. And I say to the NYPD, to the commissioner, to Mayor de Blasio, you think that's okay to shoot someone? As an off-duty officer, as a police officer, you mean to tell me you think a threat is approaching you and you took your options away because you could have easily rolled your window up. You could have drove away. You could have took out your department ID. You could have took out your shield. But you decided to unholster your weapon and put not one shot, not 2 shots, but 3 shots and leave my brother there to drown in his own blood.
Premeditated murder.
So what I ask of everyone here, let's start researching. Do your homework. Make sure we understand what we're talking about. I'm not just talking about my brother's life being stolen. I'm not just talking about an unfair verdict, an unjust verdict. I'm talking about potentially coming back to the same spot for one of your loved ones out there. It can't be accepted anymore. So I'm asking everyone, please, I can't stress this enough, we have to start standing together. Tashana, where you at, girl? This is my goddess warrior right here. She keep us focused. Come here, girl. Give it to them.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I want to start this off by a quote by Dick Gregory. That's very important to me. He said, "They got us thinking legal means right, but we got to remember, slavery was legal."
Woo! Tell them.
This system is not made for African descendants. It's never been made for African descendants. This system is made to protect the people that kill us at will for being melanated people, for being strong. My friend Delrawn Smalls was a 6'1", 240-pound, strong African male. I don't understand why that is such a threat. I don't understand why at the police academy, instead of teaching them to have sympathy and empathy and serve their community, they're teaching them to kill us. I don't understand. Do you guys understand that? I can't wrap my head around that. I don't understand. There's been so many people before, my friend, that we have witnessed being killed on video, like Miss Carr's son. We witnessed that. Are they now telling us that we can't believe what our eyes see? The only thing that's going to end this is us. We are the people. We are the ones who put these people into office. We are the ones that vote. We are the ones that you need to unite and need to stop this. Because what really has changed in the last 400 years? I'll tell you what's changed. The narrative. The words they use. We can stand here and we can watch a man kill many people in Vegas. We can stand here and watch a man kill people in church. And we can say that they're mentally ill. But if an African descendant kills someone, we're put under the jail. make sure that we can't afford bail. We're proven guilty before innocent. But when it's a cop, he couldn't have possibly did that because that's who he is. He couldn't have possibly been a bad man because he's a cop. What makes cops exempt from being murderers? Because they carry a badge? Is this the people that we want to protect us? I will not call a cop because I'm scared that they will not come help me, that they will come murder me or my children. I have to have a different conversation with my son than a European descendant has with theirs. This is just the truth of the matter. We have to start speaking the truth of the matter. Me and Delrawn Small's family, we are not giving up. We are not giving in. Delrawn loved the challenge. So we're going to ride this out until something changes. So we have to change. We have to do away with this whole criminal justice system because it is not equal. It is not equal. And I am tired of watching my people die and their murderers going home to their family. It's more than unfair. It's more than injustice. They have to be accountable for their actions. Wayne Isaacs should not be a police officer. Wayne Isaacs should be waiting to get sentenced right now. To that jury, I don't know what you was doing. Jury, I don't know what you was doing. I don't know what you was doing. I don't know what you was seeing. But there's no way in the world that you should have came back with a not guilty verdict on both charges. It is a slap in the face. It is basically telling us, oh, well, we're going to kill you, and then we're going to say that we were threatened by you, that you were a threat. This man sat up in court and said that he didn't even look at Delrawn's hand. But as a police officer, isn't it his job to be observant of everything that's going on around him? So how could you pull out your gun and shoot a man because he was looking at you? Oh, after you had kept cutting him off in traffic because, you know, you're the police and you can just drive any type of way that you want to. As my sister Victoria said, this is not even a black and white thing. This is a blue thing. A lot of people, when they put on that badge, they become blue. And they are the biggest gang in America, and we better know it. Y'all have a blessed night.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, Wayne Isaacs has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Wayne Isaacs has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Wayne Isaacs has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Wayne Isaacs has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Wayne Isaacs has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Wayne Isaacs has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Wayne Isaacs has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Wayne Isaacs has got to go.
All right, so we have a few more speakers, and I'm just going to model. I know folks in the back can't hear, so I just want to model for speakers. When you come up to the mic, if you could just project your voice so that folks in the back can hear. Our next speaker is going to be Imani Henry from Equality for Flatbush.
Sisters, brothers, family, comrades, I just want to say how important it is that folks have come out tonight to show their support, not only just for Delrawn Small's family, but the other folks are here. Akai Gurley's family, Chantel Davis's family, Eric Gardner's family is here, and there are other families, other folks that have experienced police violence and terror. Ederson Bretta's family is here. Thank you for people being here and supporting. I think that, and one of the things that I wanted to say, because really I just wanted to give a quick thing of just really truthfully about what does it mean to just be in solidarity, to stand in solidarity, to be clear that we're not going anywhere, that these families have to justify or even defend what happened to their loved one, that people ask, was there enough evidence, or that we don't care. A life was taken, and that's all that matters to us. That a black life or a brown life was taken, that's all that matters to us. That Wayne Isaac is free, that's all that matters to us. First and foremost, when everything is said and done, that it doesn't take anything else to know that we need to see real justice. We just had an election where we had tons of politicians make all kinds of promises that we know are pro-gentrification, pro-cop, occupying our neighborhoods, displacing us from our communities. We don't get justice from elections. These families have gone to court, have done all the right things, spent thousands on lawyers, and still do not have justice in the court system. We don't get justice there. We get justice from us being here right now, today, every day, standing up for ourselves and our communities. That's where we get justice. So we know, and I want to be clear, I may say I'm in the Black Lives Matter movement, but all of you here today right now are in the Black Lives Matter movement. And for the Brown Lives Matter movement, and we are here, and we are clear, first and foremost, that we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that Wayne Isaac, I don't even know the man's name, Wayne Isaac, murderer, that's his name.
That's right.
His name is murderer, officer murderer, gets off the NYPD.
That's right.
And if we can, family, take the next step, I say we abolish the NYPD. Because they do nothing but murder our people. They do nothing but occupy our neighborhoods. They do nothing but drive tenants out of their homes. That's what they do. They don't serve and protect anybody but Wall Street. And I just want to say, I'm so down when our assembly person, Barron, talked about a revolution. Hell yes. Because that's the ultimate way that we will have justice in this country, is if we, the people, are running it, and not these powers that just want to murder our people and drive us into poverty, into the shelter system or underground. So family, I thank you for being here. Families that are fighting every single day, the families that have lost their loved ones that guide us in the anti-police brutality movement, that give us our walking orders every single day. I thank you for all that you do and how you inspire us every day. Thank you. And we will not stop until they have justice. We will not stop until Delrawn Small's family has justice. Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Wayne Isaac has got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Wayne Isaac has got to go.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Wayne Isaac has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Wayne Isaac has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Wayne Isaac has got to go.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Our next speaker is going to be Jewel from BYP 100. Okay, so a lot of the things that I was thinking to say today was already said, so I don't want to be redundant, but I do want to highlight certain things. Like Carmen said, my name is Jewel Cadet. I'm from Black Youth Project 100, the New York City chapter. I'm chapter chair. Last summer, we locked down the lobby of the building where the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association is located. And 10 members faced arrest, right? Had charges, were taken out in handcuffs for that action. One of our demands, among others, were that Wayne Isaacs was fired, right? This is almost a year and a half later, and when I heard the verdict, I wasn't shocked because I don't believe in the police. I don't believe in the criminal justice system. I know as a black person that these systems are not for me. I know that. So I specifically, race was talked about, right? And we think about cops, and we talk about white cops. And I love that it was highlighted today that it's about the blue. That regardless if you are a black officer, you are an officer. And that blue
is the one, that's where the loyalty lies. So I don't trust any officer.
That's right.
I proudly wear this button because I don't believe in cops. I don't believe in the NYPD. I do not believe in that. I believe in us. I believe in us. I believe that we are all that we need to keep ourselves safe. The elections happened, right? And elections are always, you know, a time when people are like, yeah, vote for me, vote for me. We need to be very mindful about who we're putting in office.
That's right.
Electing de Blasio is holding de Blasio accountable. People who are in uniform still need to be held accountable. Police officers do not protect and serve the people. They do not do that. I heard the word terrorism was used. That is a fact. Police officers are terrorists. I heard the word gangs was used. That is also a fact. They are loyal to each other. And I specifically just want to say, I know that there's a time limit for speakers. I specifically want to talk to the black people in the audience, specifically because I think that there's something that's really powerful that's happening, right? We're living in an era of social media. We're living in an era where we are seeing our people, right? Because I did not know Delrawn Small, but I am from Brooklyn, East New York, born and raised. That's my town, right? This is my place where he was murdered. So even though I did not know him, that is family to me. Every time I see a black person that is murdered by the police, that is family to me. And I am hurting and I am in pain. So I want for specifically black people, take care of yourself during these times. It is traumatic to watch these murders. It is traumatic to see people who kill us walk away free. Wayne Isaacs, I don't know where you live. I don't know where you live. But the people who do, the people who see him in the grocery stores, the people who see him wherever he frequents, please let him know. Make it uncomfortable for him. Because what he did was not okay. And the families of the police brutality murders, I stand with you. Black Youth Project 100, New York City, we stand with you. Good night.
Thank you. All right, so we do want to bring up some additional family members that are here this evening. We have Hortensia Peterson. Where you at, Auntie? This is the aunt of Akai Gurley.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Repeat after me. Wayne Isaac.
Wayne Isaac
is a cold-blooded murderer.
is a cold-blooded murderer.
Wayne Isaac.
Wayne Isaac
has Delrawn Small's blood.
has Delrawn Small's blood
on his mind.
on his mind,
On his hands.
on his
And
hands,
he will not rest.
and he will not rest.
Because Delrawn's blood
Because Delrawn's blood
will forever
will forever
remind him
remind him
of that father,
of that father,
that son,
that
brother,
brother,
that nephew
that nephew
that he has stolen.
that he has stolen.
Hi, guys. Wow. First of all, to the Smalls family, know that I stand in solidarity with you guys. I've been there 3.5 years ago. When you think you have a victory, you understand the system that we have to dismantle. We have to start from the top. And that means taking it to Albany. That means de Blasio. That means O'Neill. First of all, de Blasio got reelected a second term. Pantaleo is still a free man.
That ain't right.
Think about it. Here it is, 3.5 years later, another king was senselessly murdered by a black man. How on God's earth can you murder someone and not think that you ought to stay around and stop thinking about yourself? Wayne Isaac was a coward, is a coward, and is going to continue to be a coward. We are here today to let the Smalls family know this is not over. This is just the beginning. They made our life hell. We're going to make their lives hell. First of all, on top of that, Wayne Isaac, wherever you go, your face will be blasted and posted every which way you go. Okay? And on top of that, when you murder someone and you are supposed to be a real cop, you don't lie, you don't run away, and you can't say you was in fear of your life because you had the upper hand. You had a weapon. All Delrawn wanted to know is, why did you cut him off? He didn't know anything about it. You didn't even give him a chance. You just automatically shot him. For what? And to all the naysayers out there, when it's your loved one, you're going to want us to be on your side. Think about it. It's not about a black man, a white man, a yellow man. No, it's a human life. Because Delrawn was human. He was a man. He was someone's father. He was someone's future. He was human first. And you took a life. But don't worry, karma comes around. Karma is going to come to every one of these police officers that have taken our loved ones' lives. And I hope that we are right there, not crying, but just looking at you and walking away. Because our loved ones' lives are important and was important to us. Might not have been to you, Wayne Isaac, but I'm going to tell you now, it ain't over. The fight has just begun. Because what you did to another king, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You shot and murdered another black man because you have a badge. Whenever you take off that blue uniform and another white cop sees you, you're just another nigger to them. Remember that, Isaac. Mark my word. Thank you.
If we don't get no justice, then they don't get no peace. If we don't get no justice, then they don't get no peace. If we don't get no justice, then they don't get no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Woo! All right, so we have another representative of Justice for Akai Gurley, Kirby Joseph. Hello, family.
Hello.
Hello, family.
Hello.
I say family because us standing here is what families do. Giving solidarity to our people is what family does, because somebody died last night and somebody's going to die tonight by the hands of a police officer or a racist vigilante in this country every 28 hours. And we don't hear about it, and it may not hit our news feed, but it is happening. When I think about this family going to trial, I think about what happened with the Akai Gurley trial. And the reason why is because we learned a lot of facts from the NYPD instructors, right? When they hit us with the politically correct language. It takes 11 pounds of pressure in an NYPD gun for them to shoot someone. You can drop the NYPD officer's weapon on the floor and it will not go off. When you shoot someone once, it takes effort. He shot Delrawn 3 times. But that's what they're all indoctrinated to do. This is what they're taught. To shoot first and maybe ask questions later. And we're not just talking about black and brown lives. We're talking about our gender non-conforming family. We're talking about our trans family. 25 trans people have been murdered. Most of them women of color. We're talking about our queer family. We're talking about the immigrants that are harassed every day. We're talking about that sister that was raped in Brooklyn by 2 police officers. Right now, Muhammad Boss' family is going to court every week for that case. This is everywhere. This is an epidemic, a disease that capitalism has put into our communities. It does not grow out of concrete, family. And the only way that we could combat this is to be organized. Before we got here, there were fans surrounding here. Why? They are scared of us. We are the scariest thing to this system. Us coming together and standing together and supporting this family and allowing their empowerment and their voice to be heard is scary to the system. We are shaking them and their boots.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to be out here, and we have to continue to be out here. I don't care your ideology. I don't care how you identify. When you stand with me and these family in solidarity, you are my comrade. You are this family's comrade. And we have to be organized, even more organized than these police officers and this system, because it is not broken. It is working just fine. It was never meant for us. Thank you.
Zaquana Albert, who was actually present with Delrawn in the car at the time that he was murdered.
Good evening. That's not loud. Oh, sorry. Okay. So I just want to say the day that the verdict did come out, I was numb. I'm still a little numb, but I'm really pissed off, and I think that it was just a blatant disrespect for our whole family, all the other families fighting for justice. And I just want to say, Wayne Isaacs, he's a liar, a murderer. His lawyer said that me and my daughter lied, and we did not. I don't have anything to lie about. It's all the facts were there, all the evidence, the video, everything was there. And all I know that right now, all we can continue to do is organize. And I hope that we just do that together and stand in solidarity with each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Zaquana.
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
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 if the law don't get it,
Shut it down!
Next speaker is going to be Nikita Price from Picture the Homeless.
Good evening, family. Good evening in the back. My name's Nikita Price. I'm a civil rights organizer with Picture the Homeless, and I'm here to support the Delrawn small family and all the other families that are standing here once again in this unforgettable club that has been put together by the killers representing the NYPD Blue. You should know this, first of all. There is a crack in this blue wall, and all we have to do is continue to stand here and watch it fall. There is a crack in the blue wall. Stand here and watch it fall. All too often we have to come out and support families who have lost their loved ones, and none of us out here, other than these families, know what they're going through. Children, grandmothers, aunts, nephews, brothers, sisters. It is regrettable that we are asked to accept unjust verdicts when videotapes, when witnesses have witnessed what has been done by those who are here to protect us, who are demonizing us, who are killing us in the streets. We stand here a year later and once again told we're sorry, but the jury has made its decision. It is unacceptable, and it will not continue. So to the families out here, I thank you for your patience, because I don't know what it is that you have to go through in order to be here and sustain this. I do know that the folks that are out here that's standing with you and myself are here for you. And when Wayne Isaac is fired, along with a lot of the other officers that are fired, then we can rest. And until then, continue to stand with these families. Thank you.
Okay, y'all, we're going to keep it going. Our next speaker is going to be Imani Brown from Qatar.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you again for coming out. I'm going to keep it short because I think that a lot of what needs to be said has already been said, especially by the family members. But I just want to say that what has been lost can never be repaired. The damage that has happened to somebody precious cannot be repaired. And so when we talk about justice, we're not talking about reversing the clock, because that's impossible. But to have a jury and to have the system not only disregard the pain that this family must be feeling, but then to spit in their faces and claim that no accountability needs to happen is unacceptable. What we know about this case, and folks have said it before, is that the officer who killed Delrawn Smalls was black. But as it has been said before, we know what the logic of white supremacy looks like. And what that means is that regardless of who is behind the badge, as long as the person in front of the gun is black, their life does not matter. And what do we have now? Who do we have now in office? Who is the person who's supposed to serve and protect all of us from the NYPD? We have Mayor de Blasio, who ran on a platform of police accountability and reform. And yet, in his first term, he has done nothing, and I say again, nothing, to hold abusive killer cops accountable to the damage that they have done, accountable to the lives that they have stolen forever. And if he does not want his legacy to be one of protecting abusive cops, then he is going to actually have to make a change this time.
That's right. That's right.
He is going to have to honor the trust that people are putting on him by voting for him. And he is going to have to stop dragging his feet. These families deserve justice. What was lost is precious. It cannot be replaced. We're asking for accountability. Thank you.
All right, so we're getting there. We're almost going to wrap up. Our next speaker is going to be Jonathan Medina, who is a good friend of Delrawn.
I ain't gonna take up too much of y'all time. My name is Jonathan Medina. I'm with GMAC organization, but I'm gonna speak from a different perspective. Because as I sat and I tuned into the trial, I heard Wayne Isaac talk about a personal friend of mine who was more like a brother in ways that I know he was not. I know Delrawn as a family man. I know him for over a decade. I know his sisters. I know his brothers. I know his kids. He's not the man that man paid him out to be. And I don't want to address that tonight. Because he was a good friend of mine, more like a brother. And every time I seen him, he was so big on family. He was always with his kids. Every time we got up and went to barbecues together, or the nights we would have long nights, he would sleep over my house or sleep on my couch. That's a brother. When I turned around and I seen the family of all these victims that have been lost their hands to the hands of police, I lost a cousin in 2004 by the hands of an officer, cold-blooded, killed him on his birthday. I know the pain. I deal with that trauma. Me and my family deal with that trauma daily. So I feel their pain. When I seen Eric Garner's mother, I know Mrs. Garner. I met her in the gala a few months ago. And it hurts me to be out here tonight. And for my friend, that's more like a brother, it's hurtful. And then when you hear a verdict as not guilty, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful to that man, to the whole justice, to his family. And in his ways, you can't justify that. Because that man is a murderer, and he does not to be home with his family while we are out here in the cold, like his brother said, because it is cold out here. But we would stand out here, I would stand out here in ice water with nothing on for my brother on any given day. And I want you to know, I love you, bro. May you sleep in peace, and we here for you. While you sleep in peace, as I say, and I told my brother earlier, as you sleep in peace, we're gonna make hell. As you sleep in peace, we cause a hell out here. And that's all I had to say, and I appreciate y'all.
All right. So finally, we're going to hear one more time from Delrawn's family, Victor and Victoria, Delrawn's brother and sister.
Just to reiterate real quick, and we're going to stop this thing. What Jonathan was saying, man, you know, we talk about organizing and uniting and fighting for justice, but I don't want to forget to mention, you know, while we're doing this, We tried so hard to keep his memory. We tried so hard to let everyone know who he was. I can't allow this system to degrade my brother and dehumanize him. I know what he was to me. My sister knows what he was to me. His friends know what he was. His kids know what he was to me. My brother was a man, a real man. In my family, we call him the alpha male. He was the guy we turned to for everything. If we called him to talk, he would just listen. He wouldn't even say nothing back. But just the thought of being able to vent to someone who's non-judgmental and that's going to give you the best advice possible if you need it, that was stolen from us. Not taken, it was stolen. His life was stolen. And I ask every day, we have to love our loved ones and cherish them. Learn from them. And uplift them every chance you get. Hold on.
I just wanted to say real quick, I know my voice is so small, but I just wanted to say real quick that losing a loved one is extremely hard in itself. I mean, we know that death is inevitable, but when it comes so sudden, when it comes so sudden and so coldly, and we had to sit through a trial where we watched our brother lay in his own pool of blood with bullet holes in him, while the crime scene investigators described what they were seeing, and they were seeing a body, but we were looking at our brother, and we were looking at the person that was like our father, the person who helped to raise us since we were children, the person who boiled frozen flakes and fed it to us and and dressed us and bathed us, and that's who we were looking at, lying in his own pool of blood. So when we lose, when us families, not just our family, when we lose families to police and state violence, it's a different type of feeling. It's like if a person didn't have a mistrust for the system or for the police, you now have it. Also, there was something that I was saying. There's a lot of different components of our lives that are affected. Being off of work and having to go to court dates, and that's not hassle because we're going to be there every day for our brother. We'll be anywhere for our brother. Being there, however, and losing days at work, losing money, not being able to just function as a normal human, being nervous when you see police if you weren't before. Our lives are affected in a lot of different ways that people just can't understand. So I want people to remember that, like, families like ours, we didn't ask to be part of this. We didn't ask for this. Delrawn didn't ask for this. He didn't ask for somebody to shoot him and just look at him callously and make sure he had no more life in him and walk away. He didn't ask for that. Delrawn had plenty of years left. He had 3 children. He has a 1-year-old child. He has 2 teenage daughters who he was very involved with. And he had Victor and I, who looked at him as a father. And this week, people have asked, how am I doing? I don't know how I'm doing because I don't know how I'm going to get past this. I don't know how I'm going to accept this verdict, but I'm not going to accept this verdict. Victor's not going to accept this verdict, and none of you should accept this verdict. Because when we accept this verdict, we're saying that it is okay. I don't care what color Wayne Isaacs was, because I've heard that a lot. I don't give a flying fuck if he was black, brown, blue, green, or purple. He took my brother's life. He took my brother's life. I can't call him. I can't lean on his shoulder. I can't. None of us can. His 1-year-old son will never know him. So I don't give a flying fuck what color Wayne Isaacs was. What I do know is my black ass brother is not here anymore, and no one cares. But you all do, because you all are here. And please continue to care. Please, because we need it. And we don't know how we feel, and we don't know how to feel. But please, even if it's just a kind gesture, just a how are you doing? Just something, because we're not okay. And I don't know when we're going to be okay, but we're not. And thank you all for coming out to be here for Delrawn. Thank you.
All right, with that said, we want to ask. I'm going to get the cover real quick. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Thank you. So just want to send out some thank yous. Obviously, we are very appreciative for Victor and Victoria for sharing themselves with us in this moment of trauma, this ongoing trauma that they've been experiencing, as well as the rest of the family, including Delrawn's children, Zayden, Shariah, Shondell, as well as Zanaya and Sharon and Monique. We want to shout out Carol Gray and Zaquana as well, who spoke earlier. We want to thank Carol Gray, the mother of Kimani Gray. We want to thank Gwen Carr, the mother of Eric Garner, Joshua Lopez, the nephew of John Collado, Hortensia Peterson, aunt of Akai Gurley, Hawa Ba, who's enduring a civil trial right now on behalf of her son, Mohammed Ba, Natasha Duncan, sister of Chantel Davis, as well as Angie Hicks, who's present tonight, Constance Malcolm, who's also the mother of Ramarley Graham.
Also remember Erickson Brito. It seems to be a name that a lot of people have forgotten. He died he was murdered November 19th on 2016, and we don't want his name forgotten either. His sister is here, and we're going to support her. So the same way that you guys support us, please support this young lady as well. She came out to support us after school, and we've supported each other over the phone. This is like the first day that we've ever met each other in person. But that's how close our families are to each other. But thank you for supporting, and please don't forget Erickson Brito either.
Thank you, everybody. We are not done yet. I'm going to give y'all some instructions. So, we are going to march around Union Square one time.
Wayne is a liar. He needs to get fired. Wayne is a liar. He needs to get fired.